Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. Rick and Morty Season 8, Episode 5's sci-fi satire of capitalist greed devolves into a hilarious spacebound spoof of a classic comedy from the 60s in its third act. Rick and Morty Season 8, Episode 5, Cryo Mort, a Rickver, is an incisive commentary on the class divide. Rick and Morty land on a ship full of cryosleep chambers that's transporting the survivors of a destroyed planet to a new home. Initially, Rick just wants to plunder the ship's vault for its gold and riches, but they unwittingly awaken the passengers and have to blend in. It becomes clear that there's a two-tier class system. The blue-collar Maquis, who do all the thankless jobs and have compliance chips to keep them in line, and the affluent Takis, who reap the rewards of their work and live in luxury. Rick is adopted by a pair of Takis, who mistake him for their son, having been aged rapidly by a malfunctioning cryopod, while Morty leads the Maquis in a revolution against the Takis. In its final moments, Rick and Morty's latest episode unexpectedly becomes a spot-on parody of one of the most iconic comedy movies ever made. Welcome to Movie Spy. Rick and Morty's slapstick race for the gold is like an intergalactic version of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. The aliens race to a casino planet to retrieve their stolen riches. When Rick finally convinces his parents to let him into the vault, he's shocked to discover that the fortune has already been stolen. He checks the security footage and learns that the young boy and janitor whose identities Rick and Morty have assumed robbed the vault and disappeared with the treasure. Rick tracks them down to a casino planet, where they're gambling away all their loot. Morty pleads with the aliens not to chase the money because it's the reason their society was divided into haves and have-nots. But before he even finishes the speech, they all take off. As Rick and Morty race against all the aliens to reach the riches on the casino planet first, the episode becomes a hilarious parody of the 1963 comedy epic It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. In the movie, a sprawling ensemble of colorful comic characters drives across the country in an attempt to reach a suitcase full of stolen cash. Rick and Morty's race to the casino planet is basically an intergalactic version of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Rick and Morty has been delivering a lot of movie parodies this season. Last week, Rick and Morty spoofed werewolf movies with the story of Jerry transforming into the Easter Bunny. The week before that, a Rick variant went through his own Unforgiven redemption arc in The Lawless Remains of the Citadel. But this week's parody of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World might be the season's best movie reference so far. Rick and Morty manages to make the movie even wackier. Setting it in space allowed the writers to push the slapstick further. It's a Mad, 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 Mad World is a quintessential slapstick comedy, jam-packed with zany gags. It has a car floating down a river and the entire cast swinging back and forth on an out-of-control fire ladder. But since it was set on Earth in the real world, it was beholden to the laws of physics. By setting its race in outer space, with gadget-laden spaceships shooting each other out of the cosmos, Rick and Morty amplified the slapstick humor. The Mad, 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 Mad World was also beholden to its G rating. It meant that generations of parents could share this lighthearted romp with their kids, but it also meant that there was only so far it could push the comedy. Rick and Morty, on the other hand, isn't restricted by being family-friendly. It has a ton of violence and gore, with the aliens literally ripping each other's heads off to get their hands on the gold. Thanks for watching.